It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Can you hear me, Amanda? Can you hear me singing? Can you be mine? Can you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? And so Dixie kind of goes over the general stuff, and then I'll finish up with a little bit, and then we'll get started. So hang tight for just a few minutes, please. Dixie, are you there?
Yeah, thanks. My laptop just wasn't allowing me in. It kept kicking me out. Sorry about
I got
that.
a hammer. You want me to send it to you?
Yeah, I might need it. Every time I came in, it was throwing me out. So I said, heck with it, and I got my phone. Uh, Good evening, if I can talk. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being with us tonight. I have just a few announcements. I will be out of your way shortly. If you'll look over Keith's head, there's a orange heart. If you don't mind, please click that. That'll give us 45 points to the FYP. That'll push us out so more people can find us. That's only 1 penny. One comment gives us 30 more points. If you'd like to become a sub, that helps rescues in Keith's area. Greatly appreciate it. We all love animals.
Yes, we do.
Please keep tapping the screen, and that also keeps us on the FYP. Thanks for listening, and over to you, Keith and Amanda, and all of our other visitors tonight. Thank you for all doing this.
Thank you, Miss Dixie. You be safe. I hope you start feeling better, kiddo.
Thanks, son. Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah, I hope you start feeling better.
Yeah, like Dixie said, if we can get an FYP, that really helps us reach more people. And like I just said earlier, I don't have 10,000 followers, and I'm not buying 10,000 followers to do it because this is all organic. I go through the followers list every day. If the people that follow me are bot accounts or just sketchy accounts, I block them right away. So these are all people that are part of the invisible community. If you would like to subscribe, please do. I'm planning on going shopping this weekend, this Friday, to take the treats to the animal shelter, and so that's where the subscribers funds go to. Subscribers get typically notified that YouTube's done before I make a video about it, and then if I have a poll question, like I sent a question out today to get opinions. So, and it just motivates me to get off my ass and get YouTube done and to get everything done and to put together stuff like this project, right? So that's my speech, my sales speech. All right. Other rules and stuff that everybody, that the regulars know that newbies don't know. Number one, no politics, please. There is, no politics. There's a big politician thing going on TV right now. If you're into politics, I understand. But we try to keep it out of this because there's 10,000 politics pages on YouTube, or not YouTube, but TikTok. And this isn't the place. I want a place for us to all come and be safe and be ourselves. Number two, no drama llamas. The only llamas that are allowed in here are the little gift llama that comes up on the screen if you want to send that one, because he's so cute and I love him. Other than that, we try to avoid drama here. Lives. And let's just be ourselves. Take the walls down. What? What's wrong? Why am I getting
nothing. You froze for a second.
You said, uh-oh, what's wrong?
You froze for a sec, like a millisec.
All right. It's probably just a glitch in my matrix over here.
Right.
And that's really about it. So bios real quick for the new people. My name's Keith. I'm a chronic pain patient. Only license I have is by the state of Texas to drive a car. And knowing that, please don't take anything I say as medical advice and or anything to that nature. Anything I share is purely lived experience. So, Amanda, you're up.
Same, except for my name's Amanda. I am a chronic pain patient, and I also am not licensed in anything. So please, it's just lived experience of what I've been through and what Keith has been through. Don't take it as medical advice. If you have questions about anything we talk about, though, please feel free to reach out to us privately as well.
Yes, please send us a message. On messages right now, I'm going to let that kind of go into the the Grief Project. I'm guessing it was successful. I've had a lot of followers added this week. And so my messages are through the roof. So if I'm a little slow, I'm going to ask for grace with that. Okay. Because I'm trying to get through them as fast as I can, as fast as my body will let me get through them. So don't be mad and if you don't hear from me and you want to know what's going on, just keep messaging me in case it gets buried down the list. So Mindy, if we don't get to how to talk to your doc tomorrow, message is grieving our old selves. It's the wrap up of the 5 days of thank you, American Pain. It was great. It's the wrap up of the Grief Project. A little bit of history of why it happened and how it happened. I tell you guys that Amanda and I kick around ideas throughout the weeks. You know, what are we going to talk about? What do we, and then so we put out we asked during a live, what were some of the things y'all wanted to talk about? And grieving our old selves was at the very top of the list. So we figured we would start there, even though we knew it was going to be deep and knew it was going to be long. And I don't think neither Amanda nor I
realized how deep or how long it was going to be.
We didn't. And I don't think we realized at the time what was going on, what it was all going to entail.
Yeah.
So we did. And then just the idea was, people needed to hear more than myself and Amanda's take on this. And so sent out messages to people. And I can't say I was shocked, but it was a good feeling to know that everybody that I sent messages to, including Dr. Mike, said yes.
Yeah.
Definitely said yes. And they just kind of blew me away. But this is the invisible community, right? We want to be there for each other. And I was busy the entire week before trying to arrange things and get things set up and who's going to, and XYZ and logistic wise of all of it, knowing I was going to have to take part in it, but not having a clue what it was going to do to me.
Yeah.
And how you see me tonight is what it did to me this week. Just to be brutally honest with you, I am wore out. I got my butt handed to me 5 days straight. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was amazing. It was amazing. The comments that I received, that all the videos received, the messages I received, so many people said in either comments or messages, I felt alone before this, or I didn't know other people experienced this. I've been living like this. And that's what the main point was to try to drive home, was to let people know that they weren't alone in this. So we started day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. I don't know. Amanda, what did it?
It was rough. I mean, I did not think I was going to have such a hard time, but part of my struggle, I guess, is with my memory loss, that I have kind of blocked out or forgotten a lot of that time of my life. And so to actively go seeking what happened was a journey for sure, to remember what those times felt like and what we had been through. And especially as a family with young children, it was rough to go back to that, especially because I feel like I'm almost to stage 5, I'm like in between there right now. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I don't think none of them for me were easy, right? And none of them for me were like slam dunks. And I felt bad today when I posted the one I posted today, because I sounded angry during it, and I was angry during it. And I think that one of the points all of us probably learned is that all of these come back together, these mix in. With denial, you'll get anger. With bargaining, you'll get anger or depression. With acceptance, you'll get denial. I mean, it's that they all intermingle together. That's what I'm looking for. And the soul searching I did this week really drove that home for me,
Yeah.
And So before I could send out any messages to people asking if they wanted to take part in this, I actually had somebody message me and said, if you decide to do grieving, can I join? And I was like, heck yeah, because this person is just an incredible person to me. And her videos always touch me. And I knew some of her story. And this is her right here. This is Scissortail. And every day, every one of your videos, just I got something out of every single video that you did, from the backpack getting lighter at times, to, and when you were sharing the experiences with, 20 feet away, right?
That was a hard day for me. That was my hardest day.
I was in tears. And, and your perspective was incredible. Everybody's perspective was strong and great. And the whole idea was to get different opinions and different ages and different ethnicities. I mean, all across the board, right? I wanted it to be as inclusive as I could get it. And, but yours, you just killed it. And today with acceptance, no, it's not acceptance, it's acknowledge, I can acknowledge.
Mad today too. I don't know if you could tell, I was mad today too. I was like, I'm not accepting nothing. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I don't think acceptance is the right word. Maybe in other stages of grief, possibly, but in this type, and in a lot of types, I don't think it is. To me, acceptance says I'm going to lay down and just take it. And again, y'all, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a person. And I can't live my life just laying it down and taking it, if that makes sense. So, so if y'all have questions for Scissortail, start throwing them out there. I have questions, and Amanda, I'm sure, does too. Are you glad you did it?
Yes. I didn't expect to dig as deep into my grief as I did. I thought, well, it'll be good to talk about. I thought I would talk, like day one, I only talked about the chronic illness aspect of it. And then we had someone make a comment about, hey, can we also bring up those people that have lost their caregivers? And I was like, I'm not alone. It struck me just like, I'm not the only one that's lost my life partner and my caretaker. I mean, Doug was sick, but when I was at my worst, he wasn't sick, and he took care of me, and we took care of each other. And losing him was like losing half of myself. And so I added that in, and it's been very healing, because I haven't, until the other day, I haven't talked about the trauma that I felt and the pain that I felt over finding him that way. And I did CPR on him for 15 minutes. And it took that long for the rescue personnel to get here. And I just couldn't speak about it up until now. And I feel like that brick wall has been pulled down a little bit, so maybe I can deal with that grief. Because it was just very, very, very traumatic. And I'm so glad that I did it, because if you don't get those awful traumas out and you don't allow those feelings to, what's the word I'm looking for? And I'm not a professional, y'all. I'm just talking life experience. But if I don't let them out, they come back and bite me later. Yeah. They'll make my blood pressure go up, but they'll make me not sleep. They'll come out in nightmares. It's better to let those feelings out. But yeah, I'm really glad that I did it. And I thank you so much for including me, because it's been very beneficial. And I got a long couple of weeks ahead of me, I think. So
Yeah. I don't think, I know we talked about it, just talked about it. I don't think anybody that signed up for it expected it to be, I don't want to say difficult, but it was rough. Can I say rough?
It's work.
Yeah. The introspection, the looking at yourself, you know, because you have a topic to talk about that day. And it's like, how am I going to approach anger? How am I going to approach depression? And what are my thoughts on it? And how am I dealing with it? And so it forces you to look inside. And I've said it several times now. I really thought I had gone through all these stages and closed the book on it and didn't need to do it again. So that's why going into it, I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
And then I just really was like, let's do this. And I was like, oh, shit. Here we go.
Yeah.
You know? And then you're watching your videos and Joe's videos and Jay's videos and Karen's videos and Amanda's videos and everybody else's videos. And then you're reading the comments on some of the videos. And it just exploded. You know, we had people joining left and right.
Yeah.
Well, one person
I couldn't keep up. There's so many.
Faster than I could possibly keep up.
And one person actually did 3 videos, like in one, to get caught up. You know, and I was like, it's dedication. You know.
Yeah.
So, not that any of them were easy to you. What was the easiest one? The least difficult, I'm going to say, not easy, because none of them were easy.
Anger. Anger was the easiest because anger is a motivating emotion. It's like you were saying on your video, you can channel it. You can channel that energy that you get with anger and you can do something. But it's like when I went outside and I smashed that piece of ice, oh man, that just felt so good because I got so much pent up anger in me. But I almost wish that I had done anger after I had done the day where I mentioned, you know, not the depression, was it not the denial? Bargaining. Yes. The what ifs, because I was ready to smash some more ice after that, you know, but that was the easiest day, I think. And I think it's because when we're angry, we're not depressed. We're not stuck in a rut. It's not better, I guess. But for me, it's always been something that moves me forward. If I stay in it, it's going to be bad. But if I channel it in the right direction, it can help me keep moving. I hope that makes sense.
No, it does. And that's what I've had to try to do myself is take that anger and do something with it. You know, that's like the energy I get to do all of this comes from anger in a lot of different ways. Yep. Because if not, I'll sit and I'll wallow in it, and unhealthy habits will come back, and it's nothing positive will come out of it. So I feel that's on the days that I'm extremely active on this app, those are the really bad days. I'm having a lot of anger issues, you know. So, Amanda, what was the easiest one for you?
I want to say the easiest one for me was probably bargaining. The easiest one to talk about, but the hardest to handle was depression, though. I've had a lot of experience with depression over the years, and that was mentally the hardest one. But I would say the easiest one was probably the bartering, you know, the what ifs, if I did this, could I have, you know, not had this happen, you know, and I still go through that one with my insurance all the time. It's so frustrating, the bargaining.
Yeah. I'm going to go through and I'm going to send an invite to the first one that shows on the screen for me that took part. And let's see if he's still here. Joe, I just sent you an invite, sir. He may have dropped out. I don't know. Or he could be telling me no.
You said-
There he is.
You look beautiful,
Hi.
Robin.
Oh, thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Joe. How are you?
Good, good. And yourself?
Peachy? I'll let you define that. I'll let people figure their own definition of peachy. Thank you for joining in on this project, brother.
Thank you guys.
You quickly became a center point of videos to watch, and I know just getting on and sharing your story is difficult to open up and do for some people. But to get on and to share like you did through these stages, brother, you're an inspiration.
Thanks.
And I just need to make sure you know that as hard as it was, people got things out of it.
Thank you.
And, so rest easy in that, brother. Rest easy in that.
It was hard for sure.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you the same question. If there was a less difficult one, which would you choose for the least difficult one?
I think it would be bargaining. I mean,
Bargaining.
I've done it so many times. I'll do this if you do that. I'll take this pill. I mean, I got a spinal cord stimulator.
You went to the mat.
Bargaining is, I think I've done it since day one. Whatever they needed to do, you need a surgery, let's do it. There was never a question, because it's the whole thing of what if it works? There's a 50-50 chance. So.
And everyone brought up different things that after I did my video, I'm like, shoot, you could have talked about that, There was so much to unpack in such a short amount of time when it came to talking about these subjects.
Yeah, because it all affects everyone differently.
Yeah.
We see it differently, and
we all deal with grief differently.
right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, that's to me, I'm going to keep bragging about the whole thing. Not that I did this. I had nothing. We came up with an idea.
Stop.
Right. But getting to so many different viewpoints was crucial, I think, and is why it got traction. Because we could all find, I could learn from Scissor, I learned from Joe, I learned from Amy, I learned from Jay, and then Dr. Mike with his, everybody's. I found stuff to learn from, and it's, some people were dealing with chronic illness and then chronic pain. I mean, it was a mixture of all of it, but I'm pulling stuff out to add to my toolbox from people who I don't have the illness, the diagnosis in common with, right? And it really drove home. I think for me, the easiest was anger. Because as I look down the list and I see anger for me in all 5 of them, anger by itself, and then it's in the rest of them too. I think like today for acceptance, instead of using Mr. Rogers as a little go fast button, I chose Oscar the Grouch, right? That was on purpose because that's where I was, so it who said that? Carol, anger can be fun.
Can be fun. Yeah, if you go to a smash room or something like that, or go out your back door and do what I did the other day, it can get fun.
Endless pie pans full of ice, like Robin has. It just, Joe, were you surprised about the number of people that started watching or took part or were impacted by it?
Definitely. I mean, I only joined TikTok 3 weeks ago, and I mean the love that everyone shows is just amazing. And never in a million years could I, I've never experienced that. That's for sure.
Yeah,
It's such a tight knit community.
Yes, it is. They will. they will put their actions where their mouth goes. I mean, they will stand behind you. They rallied around me when Doug passed away because I was active on TikTok when he died. And I contacted one of my close friends on here and she made the announcement. And for 3 weeks at night when I couldn't sleep, I would get on TikTok and I would read all of their comments and all of the love and all of the similar stories. And I didn't feel alone. I don't know if I would have gotten through it without that. I mean, it really made a difference. It made a huge difference.
I think that's I'm sorry, Joe, go ahead.
I feel very humbled. Definitely.
Yeah, I think, Robin, you just said that you didn't feel alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal behind this whole invisible community.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I've ever, I don't want to make it about me, but I'm just going to use I because I don't know how else to say it. The point behind all of this is to let people know they're not alone. And I had somebody say, well, that doesn't solve their problems. Well, yeah, it makes me feel a hell of a lot better if I know I'm not the only one fighting this. If I know I'm not the only one with a shitty doctor or a spouse that I fight with because of my pain, or it makes me feel better mentally. Physically, no, it doesn't fix anything, but up here it helps a lot. And I kept seeing it's the best compliment I could ever get, and I saw it so many times. Somebody saying in a comment on somebody's video, I don't feel alone. Mm-hmm. I understand exactly what you're saying, or I thought I was the only one. Excuse me. Or I kept seeing over and over and over, I'm not alone. And for me, how exhausted I am from this, all right, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
If one person realizes that they're not.
Yeah, good trade-off.
Because I think that's a big part of the battle. I don't know if Amy's in here or not. Amy was doing it, and she chronic illness or anything like that. But she's found this the invisible community, and it's such a beautiful thing. This community, it just means the world to me. That's why I try to do everything I can, to support it. So. Joe, I have a question for you that you may not want to answer. But if you don't want to, hey, if anybody that ever comes on live with Amanda and I, if I ask a question and you don't want to ever answer it, just say no. Mm-hmm. Or like, hey, can we talk about football or something? And then I'll get the hint. Okay. What for you was the hardest stage to go through?
Depression.
The depression?
Oh, it hit really hard. I think after I did the video and posted it, I had a mental breakdown.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry, brother.
I think that's all right. I didn't realize how, in a way, I'm still so depressed about the whole situation. And I don't know, it was like the first time I actually said it. And then I had to watch myself say it again. And that definitely hit home. Oh, it definitely did. And I learned a lot.
That video was so powerful, Joe. Mm-hmm. I mean, it resonated with me so much because I've dealt with depression a lot too. And I was just like, wow. I texted Keith. Yeah. I said, you got to see this video. He's so brave.
Yeah, it definitely hit, that's for sure.
Yeah, but it's like you said, Joe, when you watch it back, like it's a completely different feeling.
It sure is.
Seeing yourself actually say, I'm depressed, is.
Well, I don't want to sound like a butthead, but are you glad you did it?
100%. 100%.
Awesome. Yep. Awesome. Because I don't want to, obviously I don't ever want to put somebody in a bad spot. Right.
Right.
But that video, man, I was knocked out. I mean, I was knocked over by it, by your honesty and your openness. And I know people got stuff out of that. And you are to be commended for that. Like there's
Thank
no
you.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
It's, yeah, that's, gee, I'm getting chills thinking about it. I'm thinking about yours, thinking about Robin's, where she was talking about being so, I mean, I can go through all of these, and I recommend to everybody, go back to folks's, go to the profiles and go through them. I am going to take all of them once I get time, since we're done. I'm going to put them in their own little like folder on the YouTube page. So all of them will be up there, you know, so for people to get a chance to watch. And, you know, Joe, maybe that would be a good one for you to go back and watch,
Yeah.
you know, a little while, you know,
Yeah. I hear you.
and to kind of review, you know, I think, cause it was powerful. It was powerful. All right, Joe, I'm going to bring somebody else up real quick, if that's okay with you. When I disconnect you, it may kick you out of the room, so you may have to come back. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys.
Now, thank you for joining in, brother. You added like a huge amount to this whole thing. So, all right. So
Thank you.
we're going to see you, brother. That one. I tell you, that depression one, y'all, I still get goosebumps just playing in my head. So
I felt like I was watching him take a step into his future. I don't know why it felt that way, but it just hit me that way, that I knew that he was feeling it like for the first time and acknowledging it for the first time. But I'm like, this is a big step forward for him. And I was honored to be able to see it and to, you know, be a witness to it, because it's just, whenever people get to that point and they're able to take that step, to me, it's encouraging. You know, I know it's hard, but it's a beginning too.
it is a beginning. And it's,
That is admitting that you have something going on that needs to be addressed.
Right.
yeah. Yeah. And it just added took it to a whole nother level. So there was another person that just joined in, and I remember going through my comments, and they were like, I got a comment, can I join? And I didn't get a chance to respond. And then I saw a video, and I think she's going to join us. You'll know it because she'll have purple hair. There she is.
I love her hair.
And don't ever give up the
I
purple
love
hair.
that color.
Don't ever give it up. You know, I'll send you a gift.
Purple hair lady is here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can. I need to send you a gift card to Sally's Beauty Supplies, so you'll never run out of purple hair dye.
Oh, sweet. I would love
Me too.
All right.
I gotta go get my Arctic Fox purple hair color.
There you go. So you joined in. You
Yeah,
signed up for the whole 5 stages.
absolutely.
Did it hit you like you thought it was, you were prepared for, or were you like me and just all of a sudden just get, holy crap, what did I sign up for? What did I agree to?
No, I don't feel like I had a feeling like, holy crap, what did I agree to? Like, when I saw that this was happening, I was all in. I was like, oh yeah, 100%, I'm going to do this all 5 days. The parts, I guess, that surprised me were that, like, a couple of the steps were harder for me to kind of like put together in my head. Like the bargaining was hard for me to sort out, and the acceptance part. The anger was easy, and if you watch my video, like, I had so much anger that I had to like edit it so that I sped up my speech because I'm angry at so much stuff. And
Yeah, you wrote other things that I was like, oh yeah, I'm angry about that too. I forgot that I'm angry about that.
yeah,
forgot that
I
I'm
was
angry.
like, I could talk to you all day long about how freaking angry I am about a million things. And the depression, even though I cried, I found that very easy to articulate. especially knowing that I'm talking to a crowd of people that relate, that you guys would understand, because with CRPS, you know, I'm newly diagnosed. I'm 6 months out from being diagnosed, and it has been the most isolating thing. And trying to make the people close to me understand what it feels like has been so incredibly difficult. And to be able to explain my depression and to explain those moments when I had actual SI to people who have felt that way, even though it, you know, going back to those moments, you know, taking my emotions back to those moments was hard, and I cried. It felt good, like where Joe said that he kind of had a breakdown after. I felt relief after being able to express that to people. It's better than talking to a therapist for me. It's been, because I know that you guys have been there too. I know that some of you watching know exactly how I was feeling and how I have felt. And, you know, how one thing kind of tied into another, you know, where you're depressed and you're bargaining and, you know, you're kind of swirling around, like, you know, I'm gonna stay for these reasons, because I want to live, and I want to be happy, and I want to love, and I want to learn, and I want to feel joy. I want my life, but it is just so depressing to feel your body falling apart and watch your life crumbling in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when I described the day that I was in the shower and I had been days without sleep, I hadn't talked about that to anyone. My boyfriend was here to witness it. And I was what I would call violently angry and depressed all at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of out of my head. And he had to put me in the shower, and I was completely uncontrollably sobbing. And when he left, I just remember music flipping on me made me so angry and depressed at the same time. Like, normally this is, I love music, but now I'm associating it with this horrible pain and depression and insomnia that I'm experiencing right now, that I just had a full body freak out, arms flailing, punching the wall, screaming, crying. And I know that you guys would understand that, because this is just so hard. Like, you never imagine that you're gonna end up like this. Mm-hmm. And you feel like you took all of your prior good days for granted. And in that vein, you know, I've been walking around on foot drop for 10 years. And for that entire 10 years, people, even at work, other nurses would ask me, you know, like about my AFO, my leg brace, you know, and I would tell them the story. Yeah, I've had 6 back surgeries, and now I have foot drop, and, you know, it hurts sometimes. And, you know, they would be amazed. And the one thing that I would say to them was, what came out of that was, now that I'm on my feet, every step that I take, I don't take for granted. But now, even after getting CRPS, everything else I feel like I took for granted. Like, for 10 years, I walked on a drop foot, but
can you do me a favor?
I still took stuff for granted.
Your microphone is like going in and out, starting to go in and out for some reason.
Do you have headphones in?
On. Let me take them out.
Okay, that's much better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Okay.
'Cause-
So yeah, it was upsetting because like I felt that I was making a conscious effort to not take things for granted every time I would go to work as a nurse and I could walk up and down
Right.
the hallway, and I had had these back surgeries that had repaired my back, and yes, I had a damaged nerve, but I was dealing with it, and I was, lifting patients in bed and pulling them up, taking care of people, and I would think frequently, I'm not taking this for granted, my physical abilities. And then, the ankle got worse and worse. And then I ended up with CRPS. And then I thought, damn, I still took stuff for granted because look how much more I can lose now.
Well,
So,
one thing you said that I wanted to touch on was it was almost easier to share with this community than to a therapist.
yeah.
And I've always tell people I'm not a doctor or any professional or anything like that, but I can get on and do these TikToks and do these videos and just, even when I come on and I've just verbally vomited it out, in the back of my head somewhere that still works. I know that I'm talking to an audience that they've lived it and they get it. Right.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the understanding and relief, knowing that whoever's watching at least 5 seconds of it, they get it, is so much better than when I love my therapist. I think she's a rock star. Right. But it's different on a different level, I think. And especially if I get a criticism or if I get a compliment from somebody in our community about something I said or something somebody else did, that means the world to me because it's coming from somebody who's had the type of experiences that I've had.
Yeah.
And I don't take it lightly. And I don't think that's one of there's so many good things about this community, but that's one of the things about it is we've all been invisible, so we all get it. And
Right.
There's very little judgment. There's no judgments on any of the lives or my page at all. That stuff gets blocked out. The few trolls that show up on a live or on my pages, I rarely have to do anything because everybody else will jump all over them and take them out for me. It's because we take care of each other, right? So it's just, to me, that's a big part of it. And I'm not discounting people talking to therapists. I think it's important if it works for you.
I'm not either. I see a
it's just-
therapist once a week. I talk to her once a week, but there's no comparison because she does not know what it feels like to be in this amount of pain.
Mm-mm.
She doesn't know what it feels like to have this kind of a painful chronic illness destroy her life. The terror that you feel that I described, the terror that I felt as I felt my CRPS spreading, it just started one day and it just went on and on and on over the course of several days. And the panic and the terror that you feel, people that have not experienced that, you can say that to them, but they can't imagine it no matter how compassionate and empathetic they are and how good of a therapist they are. They say the kind words and they mean them. They honestly mean them, but they really don't know. And like people who have CRPS know. And so it does feel better to talk to you guys in some ways. Yeah.
And I thought it was this may be TMI, but this morning as I'm drinking my coffee and I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, I've done everything I can do. I have to open TikTok now because it showed that I had 99 plus notifications on TikTok, right? And you've lived the week. Robin's lived it. Amanda's lived it. Joe's lived it. And it's like, I'm tired. I'm beat. I have to do number 5 today. I don't want to open the app because I'm not ready to do it. And so I blow off not to be mean, I ignored the messages and the notifications, and I just went to FYP. And I'm like 3 scrolls in, third screen, there's you and 2 other amazing ladies, and you're talking about the very first words that came through before I even joined the live was, yeah, we're doing this grief project thing. And I'm like, what? People are talking about this, and I'm not that I have to be involved, but it was so cool to hear it because it showed that it was being acknowledged.
Yeah, yeah. And Tina, she's got CRPS and she's about to have her arm amputated. I got on her live last week, and I think that people have seen some of my videos that I'm really kind of a nerd. I started making videos that were, I kind of made it my mission to start defining CRPS. Because a lot of people are like, raise awareness, we have CRPS, it's so painful, it's this. But I'm like, you know what? It is so complicated that I have read so much stuff because I need to put the puzzle pieces together in my head. And I want other people to understand it too. You can say cancer to someone and they understand what that is. You can say heart disease to someone and they understand what that is. You can say CRPS and they don't know what the hell you're talking about. And the word complex in and of itself means that it's freaking complicated and it's hard to understand. So I said, you know what? I've done a lot of things. Like I've taught classes in my life. Like I used to teach quilting and sewing. I used to be a jazzercise instructor. I can talk and talk and talk. I have this ADHD thing where I can just talk your head off for hours, and I have this nerdy part of me where I can just spout off random parts of information because that's just my thing. So I learned as much as I could, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try to get this organized, and I'm going to start making actual videos that explain this disease so that people understand what it's doing to their bodies, because I cannot tell you how many people I have met with CRPS that don't even understand CRPS. And I made it kind of a mission to start making these videos. And so some of these people like Tina and some of her friends on her live, like I popped into their live and they were like, we want to pick your brain. We want to talk to you. And so, yeah, and then this grief project happened, and I told them today, I said, yeah, I kind of like put a pause on my, Miss Teacher informational videos about CRPS because I really wanted to participate in this grief project thing, but then I'm going to go back and continue my, I think I'm calling them defining CRPS part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, et cetera. So, yeah, that's kind of a project that I'm working on my page, and my personal page. I have my original page with my name, Christine, on it. My page was just screwing around on TikTok and putting up concert videos, and then when I had my surgery, I was posting about that so my kids could keep up with my progress. But when it turned into CRPS, I said, I'm making a separate channel because I need to separate these two things.
Yeah.
I need to network and do this, what I'm doing with you guys. And I need to have my old self and my concerts and my fun little things over there so that I can have this channel focusing just on this.
Exactly. Well, we're glad you are. Christy, I'm going to disconnect from up here for just a few minutes and bring you back. I've got somebody that I want to make sure I get up here because they participated too before they have to leave. Is that okay?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. Don't take it personal, but we'll get you back. Okay. Hang tight. And we're going to do this. And this person doesn't know I'm going to bring them up, but I know they've been here for a long time and I don't want them to bail before I get a chance to ask Amy. because Amy, if she says yes, she may tell me no, tell me to take a hike. There she is. She joined in as well. And welcome to the Invisible Community, Amy. How are you?
I am good. I don't know if I can turn my camera on or not.
Well, if it lets you, do it. If it doesn't, that's okay. We can hear you. That's, you know.
I don't think it will, but that's okay.
So you found the Invisible Community. I hate that you found us, but I'm glad that you did.
I'm so glad I found you guys. Yeah, I kind of stumbled upon Keith first, maybe several weeks ago, and I kind of joined the lives and never said anything, was a silent watcher all the time.
That's fine.
But then I started, looking at people who are commenting and looking at their profiles, and I was like, oh, wow. There's like other people out there.
Yeah.
There is.
It's crazy.
I'll give you a warning about that. All those really cute raccoon videos that you like to watch, they're going to disappear off your FYP, and it's going to be filled with nothing but people that are an invisible community. So be careful. Okay.
Listen, I can't wait for the day. That's going to be awesome.
You say that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. I have to type in raccoon in the search bar, so I get my raccoon fix once a week.
Gosh.
Oh, come on, they're cute. Who doesn't like trash pandas? Trash pandas rock. I
love trash pandas.
They're so cute.
They are, as long as it's somebody else's trash, I'm all for them.
Right?
For real.
And not my chicken.
Yeah. So you decided to take part in the project.
I did.
And share. If there was one that was not as difficult for you, which one was it?
Honestly, probably the easiest one for me to talk about was probably depression. Shockingly,
Really?
because I've dealt with it for so long that I've come to like a place with it that I'm used to it in my life. It's part of my life.
Right.
And that, I like talking to people about it because I feel like it's not talked about at all, at least where I'm at, like my family and my community.
Mm-hmm.
And so just like kind of bringing awareness and being like, everybody goes through depression, like whether if it's a really bad bout or if it's just like minor depression, like so many people go through it and it is normal.
Yeah,
So
it is.
my depression has not always been something I could have talked about. But at this point in my life now, it was the easiest to talk about for those 5 stages, for sure. Yeah.
So which was, the next question, right?
Yes.
The next question is, which one was the most difficult? And you can say no. You can say, shut up, Keith, and I'll shut up. You don't have to answer it.
Never. Honestly, probably the hardest was probably 2 of them. Anger was definitely hard because I feel like I'd struggle with that on a daily basis. But the bargaining was also really hard for me to talk about. I think I filmed that video like 5 times and kept deleting it because I was like, no, I don't like the way this sounds, or I'm not trying to convey this or whatever. But like those 2 were definitely the hardest. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know which one for me was the hardest. Because anger was the least challenging for me because it's so close to the surface. And I guess that probably the stage, maybe that's where the quote unquote stage that I'm mainly in right now. Depression was tough for me. But I've shared a lot of my depression and a lot of that stuff already on other videos I've done. Mm-hmm. And acceptance to me was more of just, I can't accept it. And it was comforting though, when I was watching everybody's videos, I don't think anybody said, yep, I've got through acceptance and I accept it, and I loved the different perspectives on it. And I think it was on Christy's video. I put the question out, you know, can we use the word acknowledge? And then this afternoon I saw Robin's and I'm like, yes. Like, 'cause y'all, if you didn't see Robin's video, she talked about how she did all this other stuff. She became like a book beta or beta, like you would like read a beta reader where she would like read manuscripts for books that haven't been published yet and like review and do all the cool stuff and tell authors that they're terrible or that they're really good and stuff like that. And they listen to her. But I think Robin's missed calling in life is a life coach. And when you decide you're going to become a life coach, let me know because I'm signing up. I will be your first customer because you have that ability. But
I do
anyway,
I'd love to join in.
Yeah, but I think for me, it is acceptance was the hardest because I can't accept. I won't allow myself to accept. I won't. I'm dead set against. I said earlier that to me, acceptance means that I'm just done. And I know people don't agree with that, but that's the beautiful thing about bringing so many people in. We can have various ideas and thoughts on stuff. But I don't think you can accept it. You know,
I don't think we can accept it without having something to look forward to.
Right.
We've got to have something else to build on, if there's nothing else, why would we accept it? You know what I mean? We have to have something new. And it's like I talked about the table today and how we have a clean slate. We didn't want our slate cleaned. We wanted the table service that we had, right? But somehow we're going to find a way to reset that table. And if we don't reset that table, I can understand why acceptance is not, and I still don't think I will ever accept certain things, but we all get there in a time that's unique for us. And we have to just find things sometimes. Honestly, depression is what scares me the most because the depression and the moving forward are kind of connected for me anyway. And when I'm stuck down in depression, it's very hard because you lose interest in doing things. And reading books and whatever it is that I was doing. And I'm afraid when I leave this house that it's going to hit me like a ton of bricks, because my house is for sale. And when somebody else owns it and I have to vacate it, it's gonna be hard. It's going to be really hard. But
I know you're moving as soon as I bought property closer to you, you leave. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I'll be in the same
visit.
I'll be in the same county.
I'm not closing anytime soon.
I'll follow you to Oklahoma. I have all my kids are in Oklahoma, so we'll be there too. Anyway.
Mine too. Hey, cool.
So, but Amy, you and Joe and Christy, when I started just seeing y'all's videos, I was just blown away that you guys felt that it was something you wanted to do. And you need to know the same thing I told Joe and I didn't get a chance to tell Christy and everybody else, you're heard. And people, you touch people with this. And don't take that for granted or take it lightly. I mean, your videos hit me and resonated with me, and I learned from you, just like I learned from Amanda and Robin and Joe and Jay and everybody else. So it's definitely, it's definitely appreciated. We and the thing, what I loved about it, y'all, is none of us are freaking professionals. It's all lived experience. Right. And not that I'm dogging professionals. Like I just said a few minutes ago, I recommend therapy for people that can do it. But I think we learn so much from people who've been there. Mm-hmm. And hearing somebody in the invisible community share and being able to relate to that is invaluable. Just just
Yeah.
invaluable, you know. So do you have any parting words of wisdom, Amy?
I mean, I just want to say thank you to you guys, obviously. I mean, whenever I first started seeing the videos for the Grief Project and everything, I was so torn. I was going back and forth if I was going to participate or whatever, if anybody even wanted to hear what I had to say.
Yeah.
And just the response of like everybody was just so kind and so sweet. And, you know, I think I've said this before in my videos, and Keith, you had said it earlier that like, I don't know, like in my real life, I don't know anybody that has a chronic illness. I don't know anybody that's disabled. You know, none of all my friends and family are healthy. And I don't have really any friends here in life just because nobody can relate. And it's hard to make friends when you're, you know, going through stuff. But just like finding this community has been so, like, just so nice, and everybody's been so welcoming. And, you know, it's just such a comfort to know that I'm not the only one out here feeling like this. Like, even though I may not see you guys physically, you're like hang out with you physically, like, you know, it's just nice to know you're not alone. And that's just like, it seems like the smallest thing in the entire world, you know, like obviously I'm not alone. There's millions of people here, but you know, you feel very alone. It's very isolating. So like this, I'm so glad I did it. I really didn't want to at the beginning because I was like, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to watch this, but I'm so glad I did. So you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're glad that you're here, and I'm just super excited that you did it, and everybody else that joined in and doing it. One more question. I may have already asked this. If I did, I'm sorry. Did you expect to go as deep in yourself, or that it to be this difficult or challenging, I guess is the word I'm looking for?
Oh no, absolutely not. Whenever I was thinking about making the first video, I was like, oh, this will be a piece of cake. Like just talking about the 5 stages, like how you go through it, like no big deal. And I did the first video, and I started a day late, so I had to make 2 videos in one day. But I made the first video, and I was like, okay, well, now I got to make the second one. And it literally took me like 5 hours because I was like thinking about it and like really kind of digging deep about what I wanted to say and all that stuff. And I got done, and I was like, well, this isn't just a fun project that I thought I would do on TikTok. This is
It's deep therapy.
So yeah, it wasn't this fun thing that I thought I would just do for funsies, but it was good.
Yeah, thank you for being honest like that. I don't feel alone now because that's exactly how I was.
Right?
I was like,
yeah, we'll just do a series on grief. What's the big deal, right?
I thought it would just be like super easy to do. Like I talk about this stuff like normally to my husband or whoever, like no big deal.
Right.
Like this is whatever. Like no. Yeah,
that was me.
Thought.
Yeah, I was
And
like,
when you
I'm
have
a
the
pro.
pressure
I've
of
been this
everyone
how many
else's
times?
opinions, you know, it's
Yeah.
it's a little different.
Yeah, I swear, y'all, I really thought this was going to be a cakewalk when we were putting this together. Amanda and I were talking about this a little over a week ago. I was like, yeah, this is easy. You know, we ain't got to do nothing. Just talk about our stuff, right? And then next thing I know, I'm like practically in tears going, do I share this or not? And so, but I'd do it again. I would definitely do it again. So,
Yeah. I think the other thing, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the other really important thing about what we're doing with sharing our stories is that we're also putting a face to the illnesses. And hopefully that will help end some of the stigmas that people have against people with different disabilities or chronic illnesses. Make it more normalized to talk about so that we can get more help, you know, available for everybody.
yeah, I think also to go along with that, it's something that the community does for me is it takes my bitching and complaining about it away from my friends and my partner. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And
it's imperative.
And that's a relief for them. And but I wanted to get that thrown in there too. So, well, Amy, you have a wonderful evening tonight, and so when we do the next multi-part one, you'll be on the top of the list that I call or that I message, and
Perfect. I'm here anytime.
The next one might be not so.
I don't know. Well, the next heavy topic will be the discrepancy between care between men and women. That'll be the next multi-part that we do.
That's
So-
gonna be fun.
Yeah,
It'll be
And
good.
it's
It'll
a
be
topic that even as a dude is very, very close to my heart, and it infuriates me. So that's the next one that we're gonna, but that won't be happening till like beginning of October.
Yeah.
So you have a little time, Amy. There you go. All right. So,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
all right. You have a good night, Amy. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Maybe.
So, I think I just put Amy on the spot. Sorry. You don't have to do that one if you don't want to. You really
That's
don't.
going to be a good one, though. That'll be good. Because my husband, was very sick. He was a chronic pain patient for as long as I was. And we saw the discrepancies, because we saw the same doctors for a while. So I saw how they treated me and then how they would treat him. And
Yeah.
lot to unpack there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's ask everybody in the group. Somebody say yes or no, because one thing that Amanda and I don't do is shy away from things, obviously. Right? And some of the stuff is difficult to talk about. This whole project for the past week was difficult to talk about. But we try to bring stuff that are important when we feel, because we live it, that's important to the community, whether it's pain, whether it's mental health issues, whether it's chronic illness. Again, I'm not tooting our own horns, but a lot of creators in the community they tend to avoid going deep. And we just look at it like we're all adults. Let's see if we can figure stuff out to learn from, right? So that'll be the next heavy one. But we're not going to go real deep. I mean, we have Tacoma Spoonie on Thursday night for Invisible No More. And if anybody follows Tacoma, the man, he's not shy about his feelings and about his language and everything else.
I love Tacoma.
So it's going to
Just
be...
found him.
It's going to be a flame-throwing episode of Invisible No More on Thursday, but we need that. I think we need the break. We need a guy's voice on for Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That way you don't feel so alone, Keith.
yeah,
And it's full of women.
Can I say something real quick? I think it's super important that we have more men coming to the group and getting involved, because my husband was so isolated. He didn't have anybody to talk to. He didn't have any friends down here in Texas, only the people that he worked with. And for the last 5 months, he couldn't go to the office because of his condition. And there were so many things that I think it would have helped him if he had somebody he could relate to. But there wasn't anybody that, we just didn't find anybody. He had a friend here that he made, but it wasn't the same as having somebody that's going through, you're losing your ability to walk. You've lost your heart function. You can't stand for 15, it's important, because I think men deal with a little bit different issues with being chronically ill than women do. They're still very valid issues, but they're different. We're different. Men and women are different. And it's good it does my heart good to see a lot of guys coming in and opening up.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, I love watching Joe and Jay's videos and Keith's videos, because I also think that more men need to come forward and talk about their feelings and their emotions when it comes to pain, and hopefully end some of that stigma that they deal with. I mean, men do deal with stigmatizing issues when it comes to being in pain and showing it too.
Right.
Oh, we
Right.
can.
They're supposed to just tough it out and go through it, but that's not, it's not reality, and that's not what people really expect.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a stigma from society.
Yeah, it is. It is a stigma from society. And, you know, when I look at the statistics that TikTok gives me on my videos, on the viewers and everything like that, it's crazy. It's like 70 to 75% female on anything that I post or do. And so I think you're right. We need more Tacomas. We need more Joes. We need more Jays to come on and give their voice. Not that we're geniuses or experts, but we have lived experiences that need to be validated, you know? So, and I think Tevin, that's why, yeah, I'm looking forward to having Tacoma. I think he'll be a good break for everybody. He's got a lot of seriously good opinions. He's been jacked over by the medical system like crazy, you know? So he is not shy in talking about that. So it'll definitely be 18 and above with language. And lots of talks. I'm sure there'll be lots of talks of lettuce.
Well, I'm not going to be able to be here then. No.
Well, it'll be on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube. I'm getting better about YouTube. That's why I ask people to subscribe, not because the animal shelter gets the benefits, but it's just more incentive for me to get off my ass and get stuff put on YouTube or to come up with different ideas and stuff like that. So, I love that. I wanted to go. There was a comment from Elsie when I was asking about going deep in conversations. She said, "I'm willing to go deep because I feel that's how you heal and you learn." That is exactly why we go deep on some of the topics that we cover, and that's what I think separates us. And I would love 10 million viewers and followers, but that doesn't mean. But you know, I get comments like, "I don't feel alone anymore." I don't need the 10 million. I want that one. And so we're going to continue to go deep, you know, and do all these types of stuff, you know. So
I was laughing at Dixie's comment. I need to go 21 plus on that one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's not a setting for 21 plus, you know. He's looking forward to it, you know. So I'm going to call him tomorrow and try to give him some of the TikTok rules, not necessarily my rules, and be TikTok recommendations, you know. So I think it'll be lively, to say the least. I don't think it'll be quiet. He's talking about some kind of crazy background behind him, you know. So any other words on the grief project, ladies? Have any final, you know?
You go first, Robin. You've always got more to say. I'm just here.
Well, you do good too, Amanda. I would just say, go through this one day at a time, one moment at a time. Show yourself a lot of grace. Yeah. Grace is undeserved love. Just let yourself be in the moment sometimes and know that the feelings are going to not be quite so sharp. They're not going to stay that sharp forever. And it will lift. I think I said the other day that the one thing we can count on in this life is change, right?
Yeah.
So
that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm done with change for a while. Anytime, you know.
Yeah.
Just be good to yourself. Be good to yourself.
Yeah.
You're worth it and you deserve it. You've been through enough. It is okay to show yourself some grace.
Yes. Something that I think all of us as invisible patients suck at doing is showing ourselves grace. You know, we need to give ourselves more credit for everything that we do, that we survive. So.
I can personally attest to how important it is to give yourself grace and to heal your younger self. It has been such a wild ride this last couple months for me, and I have found acceptance in a lot of it. And so I do talk about that because I want you guys to know that it can get better. For a long time, I did not think this was ever possible. So just keep fighting, okay? You guys got this.
When I first met Amanda, she was struggling because she wasn't getting proper medication. And I remember seeing her and seeing the pain in her face. And she has come so far in the last, has it been a year, Amanda? A year and a half?
Almost a year. It's almost a year next month. I can't
Yeah.
believe it. I just realized that earlier today. I was like, oh my gosh, it's been 11 months I've been seeing this doctor. Like, I can't believe it.
And you just blossomed. You just went from being just, oh my gosh, you were in so much pain, you know, and my heart broke for you. And now when we treat the pain and we get the care that we need, we can do so much more. I mean, I wouldn't be doing the stuff I'm doing out in the pasture if it, you know,
No.
and my
Right.
baby's not treated real well, but it's
There's definitely still days for sure. Definitely.
right. Right.
Yeah. Hashtag treat the pain. Because
Man.
it just goes to show the importance of proper opioid pain medication treatment and what an absolute game changer it can be.
That's right. It can be. It really can be. Because I still to this day say if they hadn't taken my husband off of the medication he was in Oklahoma City, I don't think he would have deteriorated. I think he would have been just fine. But we got down here and the doctor's like, oh, you can't take that. You can't take that much. You can't take this. You can't take that. And just,
Yeah.
and here I am 5 years later with him. So it's a big deal. Fight for your health. You deserve to have a unicorn doctor that's going to take good care of you. You
Yes.
deserve it.
You do. Don't give up. Sorry about that.
You gotta take your meds.
Yeah, I do, but I'm surprised you guys can't hear them. I was supposed to dinner time for them 7:30, and so they haven't been fed yet, and so I'm anxious to see what the house looks like when I go back inside. So one benefit of living in a fifth wheel, I can walk up, I can smack the side of it, and that they stop for a minute, you know, they stop
Right.
fighting because they can hear the thud. So I am going to have to. It's going to be. It's going to.
That's okay.
If
The hot
they
tub
ate
is
this-
calling me.
If they ate the sofa, Valerie's going to be so pissed when she gets home. It's just not going to be good.
Well, I am praying that did not happen. Because
I don't put anything past them. Half of them are on Xanax or some other meds, and they get a little crazy. Seriously, they are. I want to touch one more time on this grief project in closing. God, it sucked.
It was hard. It was hard.
It
was
did.
a
we
lot.
had to embrace the suck, didn't we? We really had to
know.
embrace the suck.
Dr. Mike tells me I'm supposed to do that, but I would do it again. I would do it
Yeah.
again. Day one, I said I was going to do it and take it serious and do it on TikTok, and I did. And I hated myself days 2, 3, 4, and 5 because I didn't. But I committed, and I want to thank everybody for joining. Everybody that watched those videos, everybody that commented on those videos, everybody that I was so afraid people weren't going to buy into it, that they wouldn't see anything positive in it. And it turned into something that I am so blessed to be a small part in this and get to share in all of all that it did, because it really did good. This crazy app from China did really, really good things. And,
You know what made the difference? Everybody was being honest and they were being real and they were talking about real events and real feelings. When you go to a therapist and they start asking you probing questions, you can tell they're not from a genuine experience. They're not supposed to identify with you through something they went through. They're just asking you random questions. And because I had one session with a therapist after Doug died, and I'm like, this is a waste of time. You know,
I'm so sorry that it went that way, though. I am, because it shouldn't be that way.
It didn't hit any of my issues at all. And it was like, well, what did you think about, and I can't even remember some of the questions, but they were just kind of like, what kind of question is that? You know, it just didn't, I was just sitting there going, this is no good. This is just not going to help. So I got more out of this than I have of anything else as far as my grieving process, my grieving process over Doug. And it's been very, very helpful. So thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Oh,
I didn't expect it to hit me this way, but I'm glad I did it.
I think we all learned. I think we all learned a lot, and some of us, like me, learned by being drugged, kicking, screaming into it, and but it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. So so Thursday is completely different. It'll be sad but happy, brash, in your face.
I'll be
Probably
here.
a lot of cursing.
I'm here for that.
Maybe a lot of Mary Jane references.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of talk of lettuce on Thursday night.
Okay.
Remember, he just had hernia surgery, right? And
Yeah.
he was not treated adequately when they sent him home. I feel for his wife, but it's going to be good. Then we have next Tuesday will be Amanda and I, and then I'm taking a vacation. I'm gone. I'm going to be gone Thursday to Thursday. So
Yeah, it'll be the Amanda and Rob.
next Monday though I forgot. That's Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike comes back next Monday.
Yeah. So we may not have a Tuesday that week.
Maybe not. Maybe not. So we'll be doing that, and so we're still working on good stuff. And then we'll do first week in October probably. We'll do the discrepancy between men and women, and I need to reach out to VJ so I can get which articles I need to read. And I think it's going to be good. It's going to be deep.
Yeah.
Yes.
But at the same time, God, if we can figure some stuff out and help people, like with the ACE stuff, how to defend yourself against that, and how partners and spouses and guys can, I don't want to say step up, because that's the whole patriarchy thing that we're taught we have to take care of, right? But in a way, we need to be able to be there for people, and we need to see what other people are experiencing so we can better understand where they're at. And that's the whole idea behind that. So not to bash anybody, but just so we understand. So, all right, y'all. Miss Robin.
Go buy Dr. Mike's book, please. If you can afford it. It is only how much, Keith?
It's if you go to my TikTok shop, it's $18. And I'm pushing. You can go to drmike.com or drmikesays.com. You can get it there. The same price as the TikTok shop. If you go to the TikTok shop and buy it from me, I will make $1.80 commission on the book. But that $1.80, when Dr. Mike's on, we're going to do the fundraiser for donations. Anything I make on commission from the sale of the book will be given right back to Dr. Mike for the donation to go towards buying books for donation. Does that make sense?
Awesome. Yes.
Did I explain that right? I got a crown tonight. Look at that. Thank you. Look, I appreciate you.
I didn't get a chicken tonight, though.
I know we didn't see the llama, but that's okay. I got enough.
It was kind of serious, so I think you know.
Yeah, it was serious. The llama probably shouldn't have made an appearance, but yeah. So anything I get commission wise goes right back into buying books for donating to get people the books when they can't get them. So
that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Alrighty, y'all. If you guys have any questions or something, message me, Amanda. Message Robin. Scissortail.
Yeah, you message me. I'm fine.
Let's let her wake up to 99 notifications in the morning. And
I do.
I know you do. I know you do. If I'm slow in response, please don't be mad at me. I just ask for grace, just for some grace to get through till I get caught up. It was a blessed week. 400 and change new followers in the last 4 days. So this project took off. So
a lot of lives that are being touched. Wow.
A lot. So you guys have a great night. And we'll talk to you soon. And be safe. Thank you all.
Bye.
Thanks,
Love y'all.
Bye, Amanda.
Peace.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Take care.